Good morning, everybody. I am Bhante Seelananda. I am a Buddhist monk. I am originally from Sri Lanka. Now I live in West Virginia in a forest monastery. Today I am glad to see you all this morning. I am here to introduce Buddhism to you. I assume that you all know what Buddhism is. Therefore, I want to start with what Buddhism is not. Okay. What Buddhism is not? Buddhism is not a theistic religion, not a theology. Means in Buddhism, we don't accept a creator. That's the big thing. We don't accept a creator or creation. The secondly, not an atheistic. We are not against theology. We talk about some kind of gods, not one God, but gods. And then, not merely a philosophy. It's not a set of theories which we can't apply in daily life. So, these are basic things. These are what Buddhism is not. Now, let's understand what Buddhism is. Buddhism is a humanistic religion. It's humanistic religion because it is based on humans. It is based on mind. It is based on you. The Buddha has not taught Dhamma, his teaching, to a group of certain selected group of people. This is to all humanity. It is, the better way to put it is a way of life. Why it is called way of life? Because it can be applied in your daily life. If you are mindful, right now, you are practicing Buddhism. When you are writing, if you are mindful, you are practicing Buddhism. So, Buddhism teaches us a realistic teaching. It's reality. It goes to reality. What is reality in the world? Reality means there are three characteristics of all things in the world. All animate and inanimate. All things. There are three marks. What are the three marks? Everything is ever changing. All the time. Everything is ever changing. Secondly, whatever is changing, it is unsatisfactory. Third, whatever is ever changing, unsatisfactory, there is no unchanging thing, no entity, no substance. So these three marks are what you call reality. Reality in the world. The Buddha's teaching is to understand, to see this reality, not to know this, but to see it. That is through experiential wisdom. Now let's understand the summary of teachings. Summary of teachings here means not only Buddhism. Now we all listen to these talks, different talks here, different religions. We have similarities and dissimilarities. We all have to understand that. We have to see similarities as similarities, dissimilarities as dissimilarities. All teachings, all religions teach us first thing. What is the first thing? Give up all evils. Do not do anything evil. That is what religions teach us. Secondly, all religions teach us, do what is good. This is the ethical level, friends. We all are the same. All religions are same in this level, ethical level. But we see in the Dhamma, in the teaching of the Buddha, we see a clear-cut way, a proper, very well-designed technique to cultivate your mind, cultivate our mind, to develop our mind. Because human's mind is the developed mind that can be further developed through meditation. For that purpose, in Buddhism, there's a clear-cut path, a very well-designed technique. We can understand this technique little bit later. Now, let's understand what the Buddha really taught. What the Buddha really taught are 37 factors of enlightenment. 37 factors. What are the 37 factors? 4 establishments of mindfulness. That is mindfulness. How to be mindful. How to develop your mindfulness. 4 establishments of mindfulness. There are 4. Then 4 right efforts. Again, there are 4. You can, if you like, you can write down. Then 4 roads to power. Again, 4. Then 5 spiritual faculties. Again 5 mental powers. There are 5. Then 7 factors of enlightenment. The last is Noble Eightfold Path. There are 8. Altogether 37 factors. These are the real teaching, what the Buddha really taught us. These 37 factors can be condensed into 3 principles. These 3 principles are the 4 noble truths. Though we say 4 noble truths, there are no 4 truths in the world. Truth is one. Truth should be one. Truth should be common to all beings in the world, not only one particular group. Truth should be common to all beings in the whole system of the universe, not in this little world. All beings have to face that truth. That truth is unsatisfactoriness. That truth is there. Unsatisfactoriness is there because of some causes. Without cause, nothing happens. Cluster of causes, cluster of effects. That is the teaching. So the cause of unsatisfactoriness is the second aspect. Like unsatisfactoriness, the cause of unsatisfactoriness, then the cessation of unsatisfactoriness, and the path leading to the cessation of unsatisfactoriness. These 4 are called 4 noble truths, like a square shape, which we can apply in daily life. In your daily life, in your day-to-day problems, these 4 can be applied. First of all, you to understand what the problem is. Then you to understand the cause of the problem. Then you can come to the cessation. You know that there is a cessation. You know that there is a solution. For that there is a path. The path is the Noble Eightfold Path. So that is the first principle, which is the central teaching of the Buddha. Then the second principle is the dependent origination. Things are interdependently existing, not isolated things in the world. No one thing in the world. You cannot talk about one thing. According to Buddhism, you cannot talk on one thing existing in the world, isolated thing. all the time things are interdependently existing. One exists because of the other. That is the principle. One exists because of the other, through which we can understand our own relationship. We all are interconnected, interrelated. That interrelatedness is to be understood. Not only humans, all beings and all things are interrelated. That is the second principle. The third principle, as I said earlier, the three characteristics, three marks of all things, animate or inanimate. There are three marks. All things are impermanent, means changing, unsatisfactory, then without a self. All things are without a self. No permanent thing. So those are the three principles which can be seen as a triangle. A triangle now. These three, the first one, the Four Noble Truths on the top, then dependent origination, and the three characteristics. These three are the triangle. Now today in the world there are three different schools of Buddhism, three traditions of Buddhism. So three are Theravada tradition, Theravada Buddhism, Vajrayana Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism. So that is how we have to understand these three. In these, all the three different traditions accept these three principles: Four Noble Truths, the dependent origination, and the three characteristics of existence. All three schools, they accept these three principles. And the teaching, the Buddha's teaching, the most beautiful thing in the teaching of the Buddha is freedom of thought. We don't want to believe anything. According to Buddhism, we don't want to believe anything simply because it is our tradition. Simply because it is mere hearsay. From generation to generation we hear something. From generation to generation we get something. We don't want to believe it simply because it is mere hearsay. And we don't want to believe anything simply because it is there in the scriptures. We don't want to believe simply because it is logical. Sometimes we come to conclusion that saying that it is logical. So simply we believe it because it is logical. No such things. The Buddha said, if it is good, if it is free from greed, hatred and delusion, if it is not condemned by the wise people, wise ones, then you can accept it. If it is good to you, good to others as well, then accept it. In such a way, Buddha gave 100% freedom of thought. That is wonderful. So, in the teaching, in the middle you can see in this triangle, in the middle is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the key in the teaching of the Buddha. It is the watchword, keyword in the teaching of the Buddha. In order to practice Buddhism, we have three things to practice. What are the three things? Practice generosity, morality and meditation. When practice, Buddha has explained all these things. How to practice generosity, how to give, how to offer things. Buddha has explained all these things. The second one is morality. Morality. First one is charity, generosity. Second is morality, then meditation. Morality is our precepts. Precepts are given in all religions. precepts are for cultured people, for civilized people, to be more civilized, to be more cultured. Then we can come to a certain tranquility, certain discipline. Then we can practice meditation. When practice meditation, we practice mindfulness. The Buddha taught us a technique to develop mindfulness. That is called Satipatthana, establishment of mindfulness. Buddha recommended to establish mindfulness in 4 places. Establish mindfulness in your body. We have 2 bodies, breath body and this body. Then said, establish mindfulness on your feelings. We have many different kinds of feelings in this body. Basically there are 3. Pleasant feeling, painful feeling and neutral feeling. 3 feelings. So the Buddha taught us to establish mindfulness in feelings. Third, Buddha said, establish mindfulness on your mind. Understand your mind. Develop your mind through mindfulness. Being mindful, develop your mind. The 4th one is mental objects. That is the realization. So these are called 4 establishments of mindfulness. This is the way. Buddha says, this is the way. This is the only way. This is the one. For what? For the purifications of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for the entering of the path, and for the attainment of enlightenment, attainment of liberation. This is the way. What is the way? Establishment of mindfulness. That is the meditation. So friends, this is how the Buddha taught us his teaching. His teaching is, as I said earlier, a humanistic teaching which is based on humans, which is based on mind. Let's all understand this teaching, and if you have questions, later on we can discuss. We have time to discuss. So thank you friends, thank you very much. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Thank you.
You want to stretch your legs a little bit? Yeah, I do too. All right, let's take a 10-minute break, and when you come back, sit with your star color. 10 minutes, and come back yellow and blue and red and green and purple. 10 minutes, and just move them this way.
Very enlightening.